Welcome to Carcry, the only place where we roast giant SUVs without a single PR-approved apology. Today, we've got the 2026 Hyundai Palisade. It's stretched 2.7 inches in wheelbase and redesigned so much that parking it next to the old one feels like the grandson just kicked grandpa out of the house. The headline act? For the first time ever, Palisade comes with a 2.5-liter turbo hybrid punching out 329 HP. The naturally aspirated V6 3.5 is still here, 287 HP of engine note that hits like a bass drop in an action movie. The difference? Hybrid sips fuel, while the V6 is for those who believe real SUVs don't count gallons. And that face? Check it out. The new grille is so massive, if it could catch rain, it'd water half of Texas. The full-width LED strip across the nose practically screams, "This is the SUV for people who think compact is an insult." But don't think it's just flexing. The 2026 Palisade is longer, wider, and its cabin space feels like an airport lounge on wheels. Which brings us to the big question. If it's this big, does it drive like a fridge on turtle legs? Hold up, Carcry's test drive section will handle that. But first, which team are you on? Hybrid brains or V6 brawn? Drop it in the comments. Let's see who wins this SUV civil war.
The engines in the 2026 Hyundai Palisade are like an all-you-can-eat buffet. If you want to clear the table, there's the V6. But if you want to leave full without emptying your wallet, there's the hybrid. The 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6 delivers 287 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. It won't pin you to the seat like a sports car, but it's got more than enough muscle to haul the family and a trailer for a weekend getaway to the Rockies without breaking a sweat. On the highway, it hums smoothly, like a DJ blending tracks. No drama, no fuss, just pure big SUV, big engine, relaxed drive vibes. And then there's the hybrid, the true table flipper. A 2.5-liter turbo paired with an electric motor cranks out 329 horsepower. Acceleration is so seamless that if you closed your eyes, you might think you were driving a luxury sedan. But here's the kicker. It's expected to sip just 34 mpg, which is absurd for an SUV this big, the kind you'd expect to see dominating the streets of Texas or Dubai. To paint a picture, the V6 is that strong uncle who grills every weekend, while the hybrid is the fitness junkie who also reads investment books. Both respectable, just different flavors of awesome. And honestly, the Palisade hybrid feels like Hyundai's counterpunch to those thirsty rivals that drink gas like it's happy hour. So here's the question for you. If a full tank in the hybrid takes you way farther, would you turn your back on the V6? Or is that engine growl just too hard to quit?
Step inside the 2026 Hyundai Palisade, and it feels less like an SUV and more like a luxury apartment on wheels. That extra 2.7 inches of wheelbase isn't just for bragging rights. It means even the third row is no longer knees to chest, head to ceiling like in most rivals. Here, even full-size adults can sit comfortably, not just kids who lost the family seating lottery. Up front, the calligraphy seats get relaxation mode with leg rests and massage. And honestly, it's more addictive than your morning coffee. Meanwhile, the tri-zone climate control, ceiling vents, and a swarm of USB-C ports all over the cabin are basically Hyundai saying, "Run out of battery? Not on my watch." The dashboard? Two seamless 12.3-inch displays sharp enough to slice sashimi. Add in the Harman Kardon sound system, and if you crank it too high, your neighbors might think you've opened a nightclub on wheels. And cargo space? With the seats folded flat, the Palisade will swallow a full-size bike without even taking the wheels off. Still not enough? Sure, throw a roof box on top. But hey, don't try loading a whole sofa unless you want to moonlight as a mobile IKEA. Bottom line, the Palisade 2026 isn't just an SUV. It's a rolling VIP lounge. No more drawing straws for the middle seat. In this thing, everyone rides first class. And be honest, who here has ever woken up from a nap in a car without a stiff neck? Palisade might just fix that. Drop your "I actually slept in my car" story in the comments.
A lot of people see the 2026 Hyundai Palisade and instantly assume big SUV must drive like a cargo ship. Sorry, but the new Palisade is here to crush that stereotype. First up, H-Track AWD. This isn't some for show badge. Snow, mud, and sand modes are tuned to actually work. Hit a muddy trail and the V6 growls through it. The hybrid, with its electric motor's instant torque, avoids that sad front-wheel spin dance most crossovers do. And here's the curveball, the XRT Pro trim, Hyundai's so-called off-road friendly version. Higher ground clearance, improved approach and departure angles, and specialized tires. No, it's not a Wrangler rock crawler, but it'll absolutely get you from downtown to campground without calling for a tow truck. On the highway, the electric power steering makes this 5,000-pound SUV feel shockingly light on its feet. And thanks to the silky 8-speed gearbox, the hybrid actually feels snappier than the V6 in mid-range acceleration. And here's a fun bit. Tow mode lets the Palisade haul up to 5,000 pounds. Translation? Yes, that's a boat. Question is, has anyone watching this ever literally towed their weekend dream out to the lake? Bottom line, the 2026 Palisade drives like a grown-up SUV, smooth in the city, confident in the wild. Big SUV equals slow belongs in the history books.
If the 2026 Hyundai Palisade looks like a heavyweight champion on the outside, its tech inside is pure genius. First up, those dual 12.3-inch screens aren't just for show. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto? Check. Built-in navigation with OTA updates? Double check. No more visiting the dealership just to update your map. Basically, this SUV self-learns without demanding instant noodles like your IT guy. Next, there's Digital Key 3.0. Phone in your pocket, doors unlock automatically. The traditional key? Just a souvenir now. But fair warning, if you hand your phone to your kid for one more round of gaming and forget to disable the digital key, don't be surprised if they try their first real-life side quest. And then, Smart Sense, a full safety suite, forward collision warning, lane keeping assist, and the brilliant safe exit assist, which prevents you from opening the door and giving passing cyclists an accidental air high five. Hybrid models also get a 360-degree camera, turning tight parking lots in places like London or Tokyo from a nightmare into a flex. Oh, and the kicker? Rear seat ultrasonic sensors. Forget your bag or your cat? Palisade will call you out. It's basically that nosy neighbor who never minds their own business, but this time it's actually useful. Imagine driving an SUV that handles the boring stuff, unlocking, lane keeping, warnings, all while you pick the playlist. At this point, it's less driving and more lounging with the steering wheel. But hey, if you still think you're a manual driving purist, drop it in the comments. Palisade tech or old school muscle? Now, let's be real. No SUV is perfect, not even the 2026 Hyundai Palisade. So, Hyundai fans, hold the sandals, please. First, the Mi6 engine. Sure, 287 horsepower sounds heroic, but when it's pulling nearly 5,000 pounds, fuel economy isn't exactly wallet-friendly. Expect around 19 to 20 mpg city if you're doing school run duty every day. The hybrid, with 329 horsepower, it's more efficient, yes, but the price creeps close to $60,000 for a fully loaded calligraphy all-wheel drive. Next, size. Yes, that massive cabin feels like first-class travel. But try squeezing the Palisade into an older London or New York parking garage, and you'll be three-point turn tap dancing while the parking sensors beep like a smoke alarm on caffeine. Resale value? Hyundai has gotten better, but it's still not Toyota level. So if you're the type who upgrades every 2 years, be ready to lose a few $1,000s on depreciation. And then there's tech. Digital key, OTA updates, 360-degree cameras. Fantastic until the day an unexpected warning light pops up. Anyone who has ever had their dashboard light up like a Christmas tree knows that luxury SUV but anxious heart feeling. But here's the thing, none of these flaws are deal breakers. In fact, a lot of families still call the Palisade Hybrid the best value full-size SUV in the segment. But I'll throw it to you. Are these downsides enough to make you walk away, or will you forgive and forget because
Well, those massaging seats are just too good.
Now, let's be real. No SUV is perfect, not even the 2026 Hyundai Palisade. So, Hyundai fans, hold the sandals, please. First, the Mi6 engine. Sure, 287 horsepower sounds heroic, but when it's pulling nearly 5,000 pounds, fuel economy isn't exactly wallet-friendly. Expect around 19 to 20 mpg city if you're doing school run duty every day. The hybrid, with 329 horsepower, it's more efficient, yes, but the price creeps close to $60,000 for a fully loaded calligraphy all-wheel drive. Next, size. Yes, that massive cabin feels like first-class travel. But try squeezing the Palisade into an older London or New York parking garage, and you'll be three-point turn tap dancing while the parking sensors beep like a smoke alarm on caffeine. Resale value, Hyundai has gotten better, but it's still not Toyota level. So if you're the type who upgrades every 2 years, be ready to lose a few $1,000s on depreciation. And then there's tech. Digital key, OTA updates, 360-degree cameras. Fantastic until the day an unexpected warning light pops up. Anyone who has ever had their dashboard light up like a Christmas tree knows that luxury SUV but anxious heart feeling. But here's the thing, none of these flaws are deal breakers. In fact, a lot of families still call the Palisade Hybrid the best value full-size SUV in the segment. But I'll throw it to you. Are these downsides enough to make you walk away, or will you forgive and forget because, well, those massaging seats are just too good?